everybody! So today we are at the next entry in my Disney Canon rewatch that I've been doing, and we are looking at their next film, which is Atlantis: The Lost Empire. And this is a film that I actually think is pretty underrated. I watched it again for my original rewatch that I did on my blog, and I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. And so I watched it this time, and maybe I wasn't quite as high on it as I was that time, but I still just thought it was a really engaging adventure. And it's just something different from Disney, and I think I kind of like that. And this movie was an attempt, I think, for the Walt Disney Company to really appeal to boys and to also do something that was a little bit more in the keeping of what the Studio Ghibli and Miyazaki was doing, particularly in the designs of the ships and the world building and everything like that. It just feels a lot like sort of some of the better Miyazaki movies, like Nausicaa or something like that. And this, I think, movie does steampunk pretty well. It takes some of those elements of, steampunk in the look and feel and everything, and it's particularly in the ships, the designs of the ships, and executes it really well. And there's definitely like a Jules Verne kind of quality to it that you can enjoy. About this man named Milo, who is this researcher who is not treated with very much respect because he chooses to study the lost city of Atlantis, and people think that that is just hokum and ridiculousness. They start this journey to try to find Atlantis under the patronage of Preston Whitmore. And you have this really fun group of characters that are part of the team. You have Rourke, Helga, Vinny, you have Dr. Sweet, you have Audrey, who is sort of a sassy Latino woman who's awesome. You have an older woman named Wilhelmina Bertha, and then you have an eccentric sort of chuck wagon kind of chef in Cookie, and then you have sort of this mole man who loves sort of exploring named Mole. And so that's sort of your fun group of characters, and they start diving into the earth to try to find the lost city of Atlantis, and they end up finding it. And it turns out there is this whole civilization there, and it's really cool like what Disney did. They created an entire language that was created by the same guy who did the Klingon language for Star Trek. He created the language for this, and as opposed to sort of co-opting an existing culture like they did with Pocahontas or something like that, this is creating a whole new culture. They created an alphabet, they created a lore, they created a history, everything. I think that's really cool. Okay, so there is this princess named Kida, and there are these powerful crystals, and she's connected to the crystals because her mother actually was kind of absorbed by the crystals, and the crystals kind of protect the city and protect others from sort of hurting the city because of their power. It's sort of like a black hole kind of thing, a little bit. It's hard to explain. And so she's connected through the crystals, and once they get to Atlantis, and they find the crystals, then Rourke becomes sort of the villain of the film because he decides he wants to take the crystals and take them away and sell them for money. Well, Milo realizes that these crystals are essential in keeping the city of Atlantis alive and protecting them, and so he doesn't want to do it, but Rourke won't listen, and so there becomes kind of this divide amongst the crew. I mean, one of the kind of weird parts of this story is that the people in Atlantis actually don't know how to read the ancient Atlantean writing. Milo does, though, and so he has to actually tell them kind of what's going on, and he has to kind of teach them about their own culture, which is a little strange. They could have, I think, done that better. So I don't think that the romance between Kida and Milo really works. I think that feels sort of tagged on. It's not developed sufficiently. But it's so beautiful when she when the power of the crystal is sort of awakened, it's gorgeous. And the James Newton Howard music is so epic and really it draws you in, and the animation is really beautiful. And I really like this troupe that they got, this group of characters. I think they're really funny. I think they're really engaging. I really like how diverse they are and how different they are from typical Disney characters. And, you know, you have somebody like Audrey who's Latino. You have Vinny who's this Italian guy who's really funny, and he sort of has this relationship with Mole Man. Cookie is really funny. I think they're just a great little group of characters, and this is an adventure. You don't really overthink, like, I don't know, something like Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, where he's finding these clues and they're taking him to certain things, and all these other people are looking for these same clues, but none of them can ever find it. But Indy, in like 5 minutes, can find it. You don't really care because it's a fun adventure, and you enjoy sort of going on this ride with them, and that's kind of how I feel about this. I really like the adventure, and I think that some of the action is really awesome, particularly towards the end when you see Helga fighting. She's a great character. She's so much fun, and I don't know, I just enjoy it. I think it's a really, it does have some of those pulpy elements from, say, you know, a 1950s sort of serial kind of a feel. It's got some of those steampunk elements. Doesn't necessarily need the most dynamic characters for an adventure. I just want to be taken to interesting places. I want to have clues. I want to follow them. I want to have, you know, amusing characters that I like. That's what I want in an adventure. I'm not looking for like the super most complex characters. And yeah, I mean, they could have done a little bit better, I think, like you said, with the relationship. I really like it. I think that the ships and the character design is really cool. I do wish that they didn't have Kida in her bikini the whole time. I think that is a little much. If you want to watch a fun adventure, then I think this is a really good option for you. So my grade this time around for this movie, I'm going to give it a B+, because those few little things bothered me a little bit more this time, but it's a definitely way underrated and a very enjoyable film, in my opinion. So I think people say it's one of the worst of Disney films, and I totally disagree with that. And so I guess it just depends on whether you like action adventures like this or not. I do. So put in the comment section what you think of Atlantis, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later.